Everybody, welcome. As you join in, we're just going to let people filter in here. As you join in, feel free to, as you're doing now, turn your cameras on and see your bright, shiny faces. Happy Wednesday, noon Eastern. And I'm not even going to try to guess where we are London time.
It's 5 p.m. Neftali.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad.
Oh, hey, David.
Hi, Rusty. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good.
So it's always fantastic to get people together, particularly for this. And I think I've really seen these awards as a family time. It's a time to celebrate together one another. Yeah, it's just a fun experience to be able to just say, wow, we've got some amazing people. Yeah, hopefully we take opportunity to say thank you throughout the year and throughout our interactions with them, but we don't always formally have an opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for what you contribute to our community. And thank you how you continue to weave your story, your career trajectory into the tapestry of our collective story. So this is what this event today is about. And we're really grateful that you all are taking time out of your day to spend this time here with us together. We'll get started here. Liana, why don't you pull up our initial slide? And we won't be on slides here the entire time. We'll just pull them up and pull them down. So keep your cameras on so you can see your colleagues from across the country. So you can move forward there if you like. So our first awardee is someone that I know we're all excited to hear about. So I'm not going to give him a super long introduction here. The Don Block Award is really the premier award here at CFHA. It helps us reminisce the person who is considered to be the main organizer of CFHA, sort of a central guiding force of that early group that coalesced, and Rusty was part of that early group. So this year we have a special treat because it's not every year that the Don Block Awardee actually has a connection to the origins of the organization. This year we do. So we're gonna hear from Dr. Kallenberg. I'm gonna read a little bit from what Bill Sieber, who nominated Rusty for the award, wrote just a little bit there. Another blast from the past, right?
It's a blast from the present.
So Dr. Kallenberg was an inaugural member of the precursor to CFHA. Rusty has provided several decades of tireless effort to improve and expand integrated care, both nationally and internationally. His contributions to this organization and beyond are too numerous to list, yet they always reflect his gigantic intellect and creative ideas. However, it is his contagious spirit and passion for the field that is visceral. He has inspired and influenced the careers of many and has promoted greater participation of physicians in CFHA. His focus on families in his work as a family physician is laudable, and his undying energy to improve the health of patients across UCSD's health system is to be respected. The passion and intensity, breadth, and duration of his contributions are a quintessential reflection of Don Block. So just a little bit of what he had to say, Rusty, about you. Rusty, we are so proud as representing the board who voted on this for you. We're so proud to present this award to you. It was an easy choice. We're grateful for your work and are looking forward to hearing from you today.
Boy, I'm definitely got goosebumps. Well, hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rusty Kallenberg. I'm professor of family medicine and former chief of family medicine at UCSD and co-creator of Collaborative Care, or IBH, at UCSD. It is indeed really a career-topping honor to receive the Don Block Award from CFHA. I want to thank the board for its generosity in bestowing this honor, and I am indeed really humbled to be accepted into the prestigious company of prior Don Block Award winners. I did not have a role in inventing collaborative care like so many of the preceding awardees, But as a practicing family physician and leader in academic family medicine and primary care, I recognize the need for this movement in my field of practice and have worked hard to make it a reality at UCSD over the past 20 years. My career actually parallels a significant portion of the growth and development of IBH in our country. My professional awareness and development in collaborative care, which we now call integrated behavioral health, started with Don Block's newly founded journal, Family Systems Medicine. In 1983, I took several of the initial month's copies as pleasure reading.
I think we lost him.
No,
Ouch.
just when he was
Ouch.
getting to the good part. I'll fill in a few details while we get Gene back. So Bill's talking about the origins of the organization. And I said there's lots of layers to it that Rusty has connection to. But an interesting little tidbit is that this organization somehow was conceived in the mind of Don Block as early as 1975. And the reason I know that is because our articles of incorporation were initiated in 1975 by Don Block with an address in Manhattan, where Don Block lived at the time. I'm assuming the address was his home. And it wasn't until many years later that the group actually coalesced. At the time, and I forget the name, maybe someone on here can say, it was called the Collaborative Family Healthcare Coalition. Collaborative Family Healthcare Coalition, that's right. And that was the original name in which the organization was incorporated under, but it was 1975. It was many years later that the group actually coalesced, and folks gathered to sort of guide the organization going forward, including the Wingspread conference that was during the 90s. So it gives you a sense of how long this was really in simmering for many of the cohort that called Don Block a peer or a mentor. It's not something that just came out of nowhere, in other words. All right, so while we get Gene back, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our next awardee today, and we will pick Gene right back up. You should know, Rusty, you should know that Rusty is also at a hotel, which may be part of the Wi-Fi issue. He alerted us that his home is being renovated right now, and he's living out of boxes right now, unfortunately. So Wi-Fi issues at hotels. But we'll move on to our next award category, which is the Primary Care Behavioral Health Award. This awardee is well known to all of you. I'm going to read a little bit of the excerpt that was written by the nominator, Dr. Ann Dobmeyer. She wrote this about our awardee this year, Chris Hunter. Dr. Chris Hunter has been a PCBH advocate, leader, researcher, and trainer for the last 21 years. He is probably best recognized as a lead author on the book, Integrated Behavioral Health and Primary Care, Step-by-Step Guidance for Assessment and Intervention. Which of us don't know that book? With the third edition expected in 2023. I did not know that. This book has been one of the most seminal, most practical PCBH books ever written, and is widely regarded as a must-have resource for BHCs everywhere. However, Dr. Hunter has done much more than author influential PCBH books. Over the last 13 years, he also built the largest PCBH training and implementation program in the country, spanning over 300 military primary care clinics in the US and overseas. So it is my pleasure on behalf of the PCBH SIG that voted on this award with, by the way, some really stiff competition. Chris, it is our pleasure to award the PCBH Award and to give you the floor for a few comments.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a clinical health psychologist by background, and I'm the military health systems lead for integrating behavioral health services in over 300 clinics in our system. I've been doing this for a while. I was really honored to have Ann Dobmeyer put me in for this award, and sort of humbled by all the nice things that she wrote. I'd like to thank CFHA and the Pcbh SIG for this recognition. It really means something to me, coming from a group who gets the Pcbh model of service delivery. And I'd like to just personally thank Ann Dobmeyer, Jeff Goody, Kent Corso, and Jeff Ryder for really pushing me kind of both personally and professionally over the years. And I'm really thankful for all the things that we've been able to accomplish, not only in our system, but the impact that I think we've been able to have outside of our system. I have been involved with CFHA for about 15 years. I think there's some folks that are on who know me. I've had multiple stints as a board member, and when I joined all those years ago, I thought an opportunity for CFHA to be bigger and better than it was at that time, and I thought, well, how can I be part of that? Which is part of the reason I wanted to run, and be a board member. And I know at that time, I thought CFHA could have benefited from having more of a focus on the PCBH model, and I think that we were able to do that. And I think CFHA is to a point now where it can really be a professional home, regardless of what model of integrated care that you're engaged in. So it really pleases me to be able to see sort of the development and transformation of CFHA to where it is. When I got the talking points for this, I was also told that, I might want to talk about why my work in integrated care is important. And so just briefly, I think one of my core values when I'm doing integrated care work is I want to do whatever I can do to facilitate efficient and effective patient-centered care that leads to improved functioning, improved health, and do that in a way that can be reproduced across systems for consistency, but still is flexible enough to deal with the unique lives that our patients and our healthcare teams have. And my hope is that, what I've been able to do in some part is help to reach those goals. And I just wanted to thank you all again for this wonderful recognition.
So yes, we struggle in virtual world with the applause thing, but Chris, you can just imagine a stadium roaring their approval. Thank you. That's fantastic. Now, we don't usually at these sessions name the people who didn't win the award, but to be honest, as I looked across all the awards, I thought these people deserve recognition as well. So the other nominees in this particular category, just to tell you how awesome, the thing that overwhelms me about CFHA is how wonderful, how broad the group of intellect and talent that exists in this community. It's fantastic. So these are the other folks who are nominated for the award and who also deserve mention: India King, David Bauman, Vanessa Casillas, Sarah Alemán, and Cindy Stone. So thank you to all of you and all of the nominators for putting forth all of these names in addition to Chris today. All right, we're going to move now to our next SIG award. It's the Vaunted Families and Health Award. We're really excited about this award this year because, again, it's someone who's really contributed a tremendous amount across her career. And I wish really you could kind of all read the entirety of the nominators' letter. And when I read the letter, I had the sense that this was really not just from that one individual, but really from the entire institution that was supporting this nomination. So the nominator was Lauren DeCaprio Ryan, nominating Dr. Carol Pajorski for the Family Oriented Care Award as sponsored by the Families in Health SIG. Here's just a brief excerpt of what was a testimony to Dr. Pajorski's work over her career. Dr. Pajorski is an associate professor of psychiatry at the University of Rochester Medical Center, housed within the Institute for the Family. Carol is a tremendous gift to the field. She has provided historical service to CFHA, serving as a plenary speaker at the Rochester Conference. And if you did not have the opportunity to hear her speak then, it is important to note that she prioritized having a family caregiver co-present with her, ensuring that the family voice be heard in the conference. So without further ado, Dr. Pajorski, we are pleased to provide this recognition on behalf of the Families in Health Special Interest Group here at CFHA, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Naftali. It is such a pleasure to be here today. I would like to start by just saying how honored I am to receive this prestigious award and to be recognized alongside this impressive group of accomplished professionals. So congratulations to all of you. So as Naftali said, I am an associate professor of psychiatry at the University of Rochester. My background includes a PhD in sociology, as well as master's degrees in public health and marriage and family therapy. And I share that because I finally feel like at this point in my career, I have found a way to use and incorporate or integrate all of those different pieces of my education. So I finally have a sense of coherence. My work in integrated care focuses primarily on the delivery of healthcare to individuals with dementia and the family members who care for them. So as the director of the Finger Lakes Center of Excellence for Alzheimer's Disease, which is a state-funded program that serves 10 counties in upstate New York, I get to take a public health perspective on how to best support those with dementia and their caregivers and the workforce who serves them. My clinical work as a marriage and family therapist provides me with an up-close and personal look into the strengths and struggles of people coping with this disease day after day, year after year. And then in my role as clinic director of the university's memory care program, I get to observe the perspectives of an interdisciplinary team of healthcare professionals who strive to provide high quality of care to patients and families. So through these three lenses, I realized two things. One, that caring for the caregivers is just as important as caring for the people with dementia. And secondly, that patient and family-centered care as we know it is not sufficient to meet the needs of those people affected by dementia. So during my recent sabbatical, I worked toward developing a family-framed rather than family-centered model for dementia care, which incorporates a biopsychosocial, social ecological, and family systems approach to dementia care. This model acknowledges the need to understand the patient and the family caregiver within the context of their relationships in their larger environments. I look forward to sharing more about this model as it develops and collaborating with some of you to make this a meaningful contribution to integrated specialty care. Now I'd like to just say thank you to a few people who are responsible for me being here today. First, I'd like to start by thanking my primary mentor over the years, Dr. Susan McDaniel. She provided me with the foundation and passion for this work and an endless source of encouragement. Next, I would like to thank my colleague, Jessica Goodman, and for her tireless efforts in this Families in Health Special Interest Group and for advocating for the biopsychosocial approach and medical family therapy in every opportunity she can. She's a new colleague and a treasured friend. And lastly, I would like to thank my colleague, Dr. Lauren DeCaprio Ryan, for nominating me for this prestigious award. I was so deeply touched. She is one of the busiest people I know, and to put the time and effort that she put into acknowledging me, understanding the depth of the work that I've been working on and really trying to promote it as an alternative approach. I am deeply, deeply I have deep gratitude for her. And lastly, I'd like to thank the Collaborative Family Health Association for its efforts and progress toward improving the healthcare experiences and outcomes for patients, families, and those professionals who work to serve them. The first conference I went to was in Chaska, Minnesota, and it was so small compared to, Larry's smiling because I met him there. It was so small to what it evolved into today, but it's so impressive to see what everyone's done in terms of the development of the organization as well as its impact in healthcare. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here today.
Our pleasure, Carol. Yes. And just some background to tell you how much the folks there love you. They were trying so hard to surprise you with this. And we had to put the kibosh on it because it didn't mark up well with our timeline. But I suspect that they were going to tell you at some sort of staff meeting or something like that yesterday. And we needed to get the word out to you sooner than that. So we unfortunately had to mix up their plans, but they clearly were trying to celebrate you and your work. And we joined them in doing that. So sorry we messed up the surprise.
I have the best colleagues. Thank you very much.
Apparently you do, because they were very passionate. So that's awesome. And Rusty is back with us. Rusty, did you plug the computer back in?
Yeah, well, you know, I sort of kicked it twice, gave it the impact adjustment, and it seems to be working. I don't know for how long. It's been relatively okay here in this hotel, but you know, plus minus sometimes. I'm not quite sure how far I got. I was focusing on speaking and not paying attention to when things froze. So I
think you may need to almost start over, Rusty.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, sorry. All right. Okay. Well, we'll try this again and pray for good internet here. I think I'll maybe stop my video just to sort of make sure that there's less, you know, less stuff going on. All right. Let me try this one more time. Hi, everyone. I'm Rusty Kallenberg, professor of family medicine and former chief of family medicine at UCSD and co-creator of Collaborative Care, or IBH, at UCSD. It is indeed a career-topping honor to receive the Don Block Award from CFHA. I want to thank the CFHA board for its generosity in bestowing this honor, and I am really indeed goosebumped and humbled to be accepted into the prestigious company of prior Don Block Award winners. I did not have a role in inventing collaborative care like so many of the preceding awardees. But as a practicing family physician and leader in academic family medicine and primary care, I recognize the need for this movement in my field of practice and have worked hard to make it a reality at UCSD over the past 20 years. My career actually parallels a significant portion of the growth and development of IBH in our country. My professional awareness and development in collaborative care, which we now call integrated behavioral health, started with Don Block's newly founded journal, Family Systems Medicine. In 1983, I took several of the initial month's copies as pleasure reading with me on vacation to Greece, something my wife still hasn't forgiven me for. Several years later, I discovered John Rollin's writings on the intersection between family life cycles and chronic disease, which greatly enlightened me as a family physician. In the early 90s, I met Karen Weiss, a dually trained family doc psychiatrist who introduced me to the organizational founding efforts of collaborative care and encouraged me to attend the first CFHA conference in Washington, D.C. in July 1995. That meeting was truly inspiring, and there were over 400 people there. Around the same time, I had the great fortune to meet Frank Degree at a chair development workshop at University of Missouri. I was really impressed with Frank and read his foundational treatises on mental and behavioral health challenges in primary care. And this resonated with what I had observed and learned firsthand in my 15 years of practice. The other teacher I had was my favorite behavioral health consultant at GW, Patrick Mahoney, PhD. whose outpatient psychology office was across the shared waiting room from family medicine. I used to take that walk regularly and seek out Patrick for wise counsel and consultation on my patients with behavioral and mental health needs. And he became my go-to partner. I hired Patrick later as the behavioral health faculty in our new GW family medicine residency. Soon after these insights, I moved to UCSD to lead the family medicine division in our Department of Family and Preventive Medicine. When I arrived, I was introduced to Joellen Patterson and Todd Edwards from University of San Diego's Marriage and Family Therapy program, who were trying to move their collaborative care model to UCSD from the then closing Sharp Family Medicine residency. This effort had been stuck in bureaucratic limbo for a year or so, but as the new kid on the block at UCSD, I was able to gain permission from the Oz-like and very powerful psychiatry chair to start a clinical program in collaborative care within our family medicine division. I soon met Bill Sieber, and we worked together to create our collaborative care program. And I have collaborated and worked closely with Bill ever since. It's like my main professional relationship at UCSD. And very soon after that, we started, Michelle Smith, licensed marriage and family therapist and PhD, called one day from Georgia out of the blue to see if there were any available jobs. I can still remember somebody handing me the phone saying there's this Dr. Smith on the phone. Her appearance seemed destined, and we invited her to work with us, and our trio gelled quite effectively. And along with Joellen and Todd, we launched collaborative care in family medicine, both clinically and as a training preceptorship within the year. And the rest is really history. Following Michelle's lead, under Zephon Lister's leadership term, and now under Bill and Laura Sudano, our 27-strong group of BHPs and students now serve all of primary care, including family medicine, general internal medicine, geriatrics, and pediatrics in both faculty practices, as well as our new UCSD community PC network. Some 12 clinics and 100,000 patients in all. This was our initial step in building out our patient-centered medical home, PCMH, which didn't really come into existence until 2007, within family medicine at UCSD. Since then, we've added pharmacy, care management, social work, integrative medicine, nutrition, population health, and health coaching. But IBH is the foundational key to the patient-centered medical home. As Frank has famously said, without IBH, the PCMH fails. During the continued growth of our local efforts, I became re-involved with CFHA at the fairly intimate, AKA small, like 45 people, meeting in Portland in the early 2000s, and have attended ever since. In 2009, Frank recommended me for the board, on which I served for 6 years and ultimately as CFHA president in 2014 to 15. It was during those years that I had the great pleasure of working with a star list of national inventors and influencers of collaborative care's growth and development. I was heavily influenced and directed in our local efforts by this wonderful gang. And though this sounds like the Oscars, this list includes, but is not limited to, Frank Degree, Susan McDaniel, Tom Campbell, Larry Mauch, Sandy Blount, Ken Corso, Polly Kurtz, my partnering executive director, John Rolland, Jody Palaha, Jennifer Thunderberg, Roger Kessler, Chris Hunter, Rob Cushman, CJ Peak, Mac Baird, Jennifer Hodgson, Bill Gunn, Natalie Lefkovich, Jeff Ryder, Randall Wrights, Andy Valeris, Colleen Cordes, Natalia Serrano, Ty Mendenhall, Parinda Khatri, and Bill Stager. I'm sure I left out some folks. And I could say a ton about each of these individuals, but just know that you are all very special to me, and I think often about you and our times together. I want to mention just a couple of projects that I worked on or tried to promote during my efforts with CFHA. One was the collaboration between CFHA and our Canadian sister organization, Shared Care. I had met Nick Cates several years before in another venue, but became a giant fan of his as we talked about trying to connect our two organizations, both devoted to the same identical goals. AJ Jarabarathan and more recently Nadia Sunderji have assisted in this multi-year effort. I attended and presented at several shared care conferences, and their leadership did the same at CFHA. And finally, this past year, the effort took an important step in collaborating on the first joint annual meeting. I just want you to know I feel very vindicated about that. The other project was our book, Integrating Behavioral Health into the Medical Home, a Rapid Implementation Guide. Rather, I should say Ken Corso's book, as it was all his idea that I and others merely helped to shape. I came to greatly respect Ken's clinical insights and commitment to quality work in all he does. That was truly a gratifying experience. The organizational leadership opportunities afforded me by CFHA were the most intellectually satisfying of my career. I have played similar but more minor roles in family medicine within the Association of Departments of Family Medicine and in integrative medicine within the Academic Consortium of Integrative Medicine and Health. Along with clinical work and medical education, these three areas of work comprise my contributions to advancing medical practice. It's been a most interesting, consuming, fun, and fulfilling ride, and thank all of you for contributing to it, and I've enjoyed every minute. Thanks again to the board and the organization for giving me this honor, and I will really treasure it for the rest of my life. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Rusty. And thank you for showing us your face again. We just, yeah, that's, I'm just absorbing it. I know we all are too. You know, and if you're a young person right now, either listening to this on a recording or here live with us, I hope you can soak in, you know, it's what's amazing with your story, Rusty, is that it's all the relationships with all of the wonderful people that you connected with that amplified your unique abilities in your field to make a difference. And obviously you've made a huge difference in your institution and beyond here at CFHA. You know, if you're a young person, listen to that, because that's what really makes careers that are mission driven and that lead to just a satisfaction of looking back and saying, well done, well done. Thank you so much, Rusty.
Thank you, everyone.
And check out the comments. There's some really nice things people are saying for you there. Yeah. Well, it maybe is apropos, Rusty, that we had some technical issues, because I think it aligns these awards a little bit nicer, because we're going from the Vaunted Don Block Award to an award that is equally important to the board here at CFHA, which is the Early Career Professional Award. So this is someone starting out in their career, and this also goes to a fellow physician. We're really pleased this year that Dr. Randall Wright nominated someone that really embodies what we hope to see in our young professionals, Dr. Ryan Jackman. And I'm going to read a little bit of the excerpt that Randall put forth in his nomination of Ryan. Randall put forth three elements that he thought made Dr. Jackman deserving of the award. Vision. First of all, from his medical school experience in inner city Milwaukee, Ryan developed a passion for psychosocial services for the underserved. This vision imbues his professional life with purpose and patient-centeredness. The second quality, hustle. In just 4 years, Ryan has built an integrated addiction clinic from the ground up. Third, collaborative spirit. Ryan is a delight to work with. He is always quick with a consultation available to work in a referral to his clinic, or ready to provide a didactic for our behavioral health fellows and interns. Ryan has also been active in CFHA. He was on the planning committee for the 2019 conference in Denver, has provided a number of pre-conference workshops and well-attended seminars. And as a side note, he also does a great job for us providing technical assistance to clinics as part of CFHA's technical assistance services for MAT work. So Ryan, we are proud to say we are proud of you. We look forward to a great and long career. Thank you so much for being part of CFHA and devoting your talents to this important work. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Naftali, and thank you, Dr. Reitz, for the nomination. This recognition came as quite a surprise, because usually I think of these recognitions as those that the rest of those that were honored today receive and have had a lot of time to work towards those things. So I'm humbled to be even recognized alongside these people. I had the opportunity to hear Carol's presentation at one of my first conferences, and it really was one of those things that I said, this is an organization whose mission I can't agree more with. And so while I haven't had the opportunity to meet many of you, I've heard many names and seen many emails. This is an organization that I can get behind 100% because collaboration is the name of the game and has really been at the core of my journey to this point in medicine. I would be remiss if I took all the credit for this. I think quite honestly, this award should go to all the people that make this possible, whether it's my team here. And I would say, Rusty, you can add another clinic to your list there that you've influenced. Thank you for all you've done at UCSD. Dr. Stefan Primo is the head of our behavioral health here in my integrated addiction medicine clinic. And so these names like Joella and Rusty, who I've never had the opportunity to meet, you're influencing patients here every day. And so I really appreciate your guys' work. But I also would be remiss if I didn't thank the other people who have just put me in the right place, like Dr. Reitz, who's made an excellent program here in Grand Junction, Colorado, where I practice, and making sure that integrated behavioral health is at the core of everything we do as family medicine. So it was a natural extension for me when I went from family medicine, which I still teach here at the residency, full spectrum family medicine, but to a larger degree, operating an integrated addiction medicine clinic. When we decided, what is this going to look like? When I went to our hospital, I said, integrated is the number one thing. If it's not integrated, it's not happening. We need behavioral health people more than you need doctors here. And we need to be able to work with the community, and we need to be able to put people in the right places. So a lot of our work here in Western Colorado that has just caught fire in the past couple of years has been really born out of what drives CFHA, and that is a collaborative model. We don't have large educational and academic centers here, so everything is community collaboration and collaboration within our clinics, and this model is serving this part of the country so well. It's led to federal grants, and in particular, a rural opioid community grant that's been helping multiple of our counties around here to build other integrated models that also include bringing in peers, so that we have individuals who are living proof and living in recovery be able to work right alongside physicians and to work right alongside the behavioral health providers. And this has been one of the most rewarding things that I think I've taken from the model that I've learned from CFHA is being able to get the right people in the room together to make sure that we're all working together. And so I really appreciate that. I appreciate this recognition. It's not mine, it's really yours, and this spirit of collaboration that you've given to me and to our clinic here. And I look forward to working with all of you moving forward. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Yeah, it's as Jennifer O'Rourke Lavoie put, you are inspiring. Yeah, it's equally inspiring to see someone that they're at the start of their career, and some folks who are at the tail end potentially of their careers, and those of us in the middle of our careers, to see the energy and the vitality that the community gives us. So thank you so much, Ryan, for just pointing out just how interconnected we are. The work we do, literally, if you look at our awards presentation today, spans the entire nation. And there's connections between those people from coast to coast, from Rochester all the way to San Diego and to Colorado, right in between and to Washington, D.C. area where Chris is. So the interconnectedness is what's really fun about this, that we don't have to work at this alone and that we can learn from one another in really substantial ways. Well, we're going to wrap up our awards time today with our vaunted Wing Spread Awards. So Wing Spread Awards are where peers recognize their peers here. And I'm going to ask each of the Wing Spread awardees who are present, we're going to name them here in a moment. Each of the Wing Spread awardees, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a heads up so you can think of it. I want you to give us one word that comes to mind when you think about the community at CFHA and its impact on you as a professional and as an individual. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to unmute and just give us that quick word as a little bit of a send-off for all of us to be inspired as we head into our holiday week coming up. All right. So this year's Wing Spread awardees include our 3 departing board members this year. This is really uniquely sad because these are such amazing people. I have the privilege of working with them in my capacity as CEO here at CFHA. I could say tons about each and every one of these individuals. Andy was is our current past president, and has just been a mentor to me, really, in terms of his approach to life and organizational development. Jen Thunderberg, I mean, there's, I don't get intimidated easily, but Jen Thunderberg is one of those people that intimidates me. She probably doesn't know this, but it's because she's so stinking smart and on top of stuff in ways that I wish I was, but not always. And particularly her research mind is just ridiculous. Just the ability to think about data, to think about it on a practical level and think about how to help others learn about structuring that has just been fantastic to see. And then Suzanne Daub, we have a long history from Philadelphia, her work in Philadelphia, and then her growth now to doing national consulting. Just a sweet, sweet spirit and always a grounded person to tell the truth in any group situation, which I always love as part of a board conversation. So thank you to our departing board members. And then our next 3 Wing Spread awardees are people that you'll recognize as well: Stacey Daub, Jeff Ryder, and Patty Robinson. These are folks who are now household names because of the excellence that they've brought to their respective fields. Stacey's done tremendous work presenting for us at national conference. She just finished a national conference with the National Register. Her work in the area of trauma in particular is amazing and groundbreaking for PCBH work. Jeff, of course, you know him from the book that he co-authored with Patty, and he helped organize our extended learning opportunity on the PCBH model. And then Patty, of course, from her work internationally at this point. She was just in New Zealand the last time I talked with her. Now she's helping them set up a nationwide integrated care service. And now she's in Kenosha, Wisconsin, doing the same for a system there. So fantastic people to honor. Now, I'd like to turn it over to you, Wing Spread awardees, to give us a word, right? So just unmute yourself. I'll call you out by name and give us a word that describes your experience of the impact that the CFHA community has had on you. So I'll start with just in order of the pictures. Andy, what's your word for today?
I'm going to stick with complexity science and systems thinking and say the CFHA is emergent.
Awesome. All right. That's wow. All right. Leave it to Andy to leave us with something that wants us to hear more, right? I hear a webinar in the future. All right. Thank you, Andy. Next picture, I lost my my thing. Who's next up, Liana? Sorry.
Jennifer.
Jennifer, leave it.
It's gonna go with family. but I actually think inspiring is probably more what this lovely family of people have helped me over the years with. So inspiring.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Jen. And Suzanne.
No question, my guiding light.
Fantastic. Yeah, our collective true north. I love that.
Mhm.
All right. Is Stacey on? Not sure if I
Yes,
saw her.
I'm here.
Yeah, there you
I would say enlightening.
go. Lightning. Awesome. And Jeff, is Jeff on with us?
I don't believe he was able to join
Okay.
us.
I know Patty is with us. Patty, you have the last word.
Oh, good. My last word is nurturing. That's what CFHA is for me. It's a very nurturing environment, and it nurtures a lot of things that are very dear to me, like curiosity and persistence and optimism. I do think we can make the world a better place, and we can do it every day in very small ways through integrated care. So I follow CFHA all the time. I often don't participate in the chats, but I always show up and try to present at the conferences because it's so nurturing. Thank you.
That's a beautiful last word for us, Patty. Thank you so much, all of you, for taking the time out. I hope that this has been a nurturing opportunity for all of you to feel that extra bit of energy around the collective spirit that we share together as a community. And yes, these people that you've met here today are collectively superstars, right? But I think a message that you hopefully take home with you is that these folks just put one step in front of the other in their work and did the next important thing in their life, and they connected to others around them to amplify that work. So I look forward to future awards sessions where we can tell more of these family stories. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you at a next CFHA event.